Hello, I'm Ann Stefora Muchler, Executive Editor of Semiconductor Engineering. Today, I'm here with Philippe Luc. He is the Director of Verification at Codasip. So today, we are going to talk about how to measure the quality of RTL and some other issues. So maybe we could get started there, Philippe. Where do we start when we think about measuring the quality of RTL?
Good question. Yes, quality of the RTL is what is important for the customer in the end, that we tape out our design and want something that works. So we want to measure the quality of the RTL. And this is something very complex to measure the quality. We don't know where the bugs are, and it's hard to measure the quality. I have a way of measuring it. Often we know that the bugs are in corner cases. So I used to draw a thing. If we have the quality here, how do we measure the quality of this design? Is this over there? And probably on the design itself, some parts of the design has been very well specified, very well engineered, so they are higher quality than the average, I would say. Some other parts of the design has been made on a Friday afternoon, on a less well-specified design. So some parts of the quality of the design might be a bit lower. So I try to put a 3D map where we have some different parts of the design that have some different qualities. The real question is, how do we measure it? Because we don't know yet which part of the design is more attention yet.
When it comes to the verification, so how do you know where to go there? How do you measure that quality?
Same thing as the design. So let's say the quality of the verification is on the same map. I'll put the quality of the verification on a same drawing. And the thing is, we can measure one point in this map. Let's put it in 2 dimensions. That would be easier just to draw. Here is the quality of the design with some gaps and with some higher quality area. And let's put the quality of the verification here, which also has some good things and some other things here and here. So let's say this is the quality of the verification. And the thing is, when the quality of the verification is higher than the quality of the design, what you know is you just found a bug here. And here you can measure that on one point, your verification is higher quality than the design. And I guess you will find several bugs during the design process. And so you will have a map of the quality of the design relative to the quality of the verification.
How do you improve the quality of the verification once you know those bugs?
So we know we have a bug here. So a bug is a good thing. We have, when we fix it, we have increased the quality of the design. So in the end, after the bug fix, I hope that the design will be higher quality here, hopefully. And so the verification is still over there. So this is good, but not enough if we want the highest quality product. We want to improve the quality of the verification. So now that the bug is fixed, we still want to raise the bar of the verification. So what we can do, for example, is a directed test. We add a directed test targeting this bug. And you will have a big spike exactly here with this directed test for this bug. There is another approach, which is random testing. And if we want to do random testing, you add a new test, new sequences, a new random in your patterns. And probably instead of having a big spike, you have, as it is random, something a bit larger. And here you improve the quality of the verification, which leads to new bugs you can find around. And this is good because you keep increasing the quality of the RTL, and you keep this process again and again, and you improve the quality of the verification.
Does this take into account different test benches, block levels, different abstraction levels and the system level?
Indeed, in this map, I just show the global verification on a single map. In the end, the different test benches and the quality of the different test benches does not add together. You only get the map of the minimum quality of your test bench. Let's say you forgot to write a test, or one of the tests in the verification is bad quality, is not working as expected. You have a big thing that is below the quality for the verification. But you might have some random testing, which is another layer here, where the random testing, I will put another color, the random testing just here, and this law here is just covered with another methodology. So overall, you get a map where you have the minimum value of the quality of each of the test bench. If we're talking about block test bench, and why we are doing block test bench and system level test bench and TOM level test bench, because your RTL is covered in different blocks. So let's put square blocks just for illustration purposes. So you have one block here, and you probably have one block level test bench on the same place. What happens on these different block test benches? You have another block test bench here. That you know that on block test bench, the interfaces between the blocks are not very well tested. So you know that if you just look at the block level, you have big, low area here. So that's why you do another layer with top level where you have your full system, and you do some other testing, especially on the interfaces, especially on this area. So when you add all of these, you are fully covering your patterns.
That's very interesting. So then where does code and functional coverage fit into this?
Coverage in general, being code or functional, is to make sure that the verification is enough and have fully covered the thing. So with code coverage, verification coverage, what you end up is you can recognize this kind of flow pattern. And this is especially, I will remove this drawing, if you just have a test that is badly written, that is missing, that is not testing what we expect, you have something very low somewhere. So assuming your coverage is good, your coverage is also a way to have viewpoints here. With your coverage, you are measuring where your quality is. With good coverage, you will have a point of coverage, which is here, and you will discover that it is not covered because you have the test that is missing. So with functional coverage, you can also increase the quality of your verification. When you spot a functional coverage point that is missing, you fix the test, you do another, you increase your quality of verification, and you have increased globally the quality of your product.
How should verification engineers think about approaching quality in verification and efficiency?
So these are, you just said the two words that I love and I want to put everywhere in verification: quality and efficiency. Talking about quality, there are two aspects. One is to cover everything to ensure that the system is working. This is one aspect. The other aspect of the quality, which I want to improve in Codasip, is to do the white hat hacker, to try to break the thing before the customer so that we can find the bug before the customer. And I love to illustrate it with this kind of brain teasers. You know, you have two things like this, and they're stuck together. And if you give that to some verification, some young engineer in verification, so we all know that it's a brain teaser and there is a solution to break it, we can figure out that we can say there is a bug in this design because there is a way to detach them. if a project manager puts more pressure on the delivery, more pressure to have 100% test passing, what a young engineer might do is just make sure to write some tests. Here I'm doing some testing and I can discover, I do 100% coverage and I discover that, okay, they are not separable. It's impossible to separate them. And I can conclude that with some testing, with some coverage. I've tested all the positions and I'm convinced myself that you can't unlock them. So the approach I would like to put is every design is a brain teaser. You have to break it. You have to break that thing. And there is a very simple solution. Here we are. To unlock it. And the goal of the verification for me is try to find where the design is broken. Break it. We'll find a solution.
From time to time, people have mentioned when you are looking at a design, when you're looking at the verification of it, that you get a sense of where there is going to be a bug or a group of bugs. How do you develop that expertise or, sort of knowledge and then teach someone else to do that?
So this brain teaser, I have two right now. I guess in the office, we have 4 different brain teasers, and they are all on the desk. So this is a way to develop the critic spirit to say, okay, there are bugs everywhere, you have to find them. There is a trick I will share with you. It is just asking the designer how the block is working. So you get information, there is a FIFO, there is a request, there are arbiters. You listen to that. You start to ask questions. What happens if there are 2 requests at the same time on this arbiter? And you might answer, yes, this happens, it works well. Or the designer can say, when there are 2 requests, I don't know, perhaps it will do like this. Oh, this is a sign that the designer doesn't really understand fully the big picture of it. So as a verification guy, I keep that in mind and I keep a note that probably I want to test more of this arbiter.
Well, Philippe, thank you so much for taking the time to explain your approach to quality in verification.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to share knowledge.